So today, we're not on the run, we're on the go. And the reason that we changed the name up is because I'm not just going to be running. I'm not just going to be walking. There's going to be multiple things that I end up doing. And eventually, I'm going to take, as I travel, I'm not going to be giving up or skipping some days or anything like that. Every single day, we will make a video. So today I'm at an arboretum and they're closed, so I gotta take and just kind of walk around the parking lot area, and I got some little small trails throughout the woods. Yesterday should have been a hard day, but I did some stuff that made me really proud of myself and is helping me not have the bad feelings stand out so much in my life anymore. So without having that pit in my heart, by following the steps that I'm doing, I am no longer afraid. I am no longer feeling inadequate or the point of not loving myself or the actions that I take or do as they cause me more harm and more pain. So yesterday I'd finally just had enough of it and repeated the question until the question got answered, and that is do you have any hope for us, to my ex? And the answer was no. And yeah, the moment was sad. I cried a little bit because I still had hope. Come on. And so now there is no hope. Now, I'm giving her what she wants and what she asked for, and that's a life without me. I've been holding on, been doing too much, been being a friend and more. And we had a tough conversation yesterday after I had asked those questions and, lost all hope. And I thought about it, and I was making sure that I was doing stuff out of what is going to be good for me. And, not worrying about her feelings, as we're not in a relationship anymore. It's not really my problem. And, I am making sure that I'm not doing stuff to hurt her. But if it does, I've got to allow the pain to come into her life, as me understanding that it is not my fault that she's going to feel this way. It's her fault on how she takes it if this is what she's going to do. So, going forward, we talked about co-parenting with the kid, and we got into some disagreements, and she raised her voice, argued. I even told her, hey, if this is how it's going to go, I'll hang on now. I'm not going to be disrespected, and you're not going to talk to me like this. So then she just stopped talking. And then she started asking me questions that led into a conversation that I did not want to have with her. But I ended up having the conversation and telling her. And a little bit of it did need to be said, as some of the actions that I was taking, I just wanted her to understand that I was ending the relationship finally. She walked away from it, but she never ended it. She continued to text me, ask questions, fill me in on details of the stuff that she was doing, even asking for help. So I still taking care of her dog, and I got some of her stuff at my house yet. And she continues to even ask me questions this morning. It's her week with the kid, and I told her that I'll take my kid anytime throughout the week. You just let me know when she's available and free, and we can work something out. Then she starts demanding stuff. Oh, you're going to do this. So this is what needs to happen if you want your kid today. And I pretty much just let it go. And I was like, hey, I've got plans. I don't know what's going to happen, but you're just going to have to deal with it if you're going to allow me to have my kid for the day. And then she's trying to get me to go to where she is to grab the car seat, and she's not having any respect for me. She fills people in about stuff that I had said about people throughout the relationship. She's just disrespecting me quite a bit, trying to put me as an outcast and as a bad person like she did in our relationship, which I forgive her for. I don't blame her for anything that she does, as I know that she is hurt, as she is trying to work through her own problems. And I really hope that she does get the help she needs, and I hope that she does find peace and doesn't feel the need to talk about me anymore, bring me up, or even make me out to be the bad guy, because not once have I ever done that to her. Now, a lot of people have my back, and I've got some good friends out there. But all in all, yesterday when I lost hope, yesterday when she said that she does not see a relationship at all ever, I seen my happiness leave, if that makes any sense. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy when I'm around the kid and everything else, but I always had this happiness in my heart, as knowing that after I do heal myself, after I do complete the journey that I'm on, I would still have that person there at the end of it, as she was working on herself and trying to better herself and not look at the outside. Unfortunately, not everybody is ready to change, and they're gonna decide when they're ready to change, and you really just have to be okay with that. So the conversation didn't go too well. She ended up getting super frustrated, raising her voice, yelling and screaming, even called me a name. And unfortunately, I wasn't being a joke. I was being serious, and I was being sincere. And no matter how many times that she yelled at me, I would just say, okay, that's fine. You don't need to understand. I'm just telling you now that my door is closed, that no longer are you welcome in it, and no longer will I be there for anything that you need. And she did not feel like it was anything to do with her. She told me that it's all my fault. She blamed me for a bunch more stuff. And I'm okay with that, because I don't take the blame. I don't feel any pain. I'm not hurt by the words that she says, and I move past it pretty quick. Now, the life that I want is going to be the life that I achieve, and no matter what anybody says, it doesn't really matter, because if they're not in agreement, they're in disagreement. And if you disagree, it's a conversation that I'm not going to try to make you understand. I'm not going to explain it. And if you ever are wondering and want to know, well, I definitely will be, but you have to ask that question, because I'm not going to argue. I don't need that in my life. I don't have to sit here and try to get something through somebody's head that just doesn't want to know. So, that being said, once the conversation was over, she was blaming me for a lot of it. She said that I was taking it too far. She kept saying that I was trying to get her to explain her side of the story and everything else, which is just not what I was doing. I was literally telling her all the things and giving her reasons why of the things that I am going to be doing is not out of spite. It is because that I have been helping you out in hopes that we are going to have a future together, because I didn't want to upset you more than you already were. And I got blamed that, and that's not my fault, that's not my fault. Whatever. That stuff, if you're not understanding what I'm saying, you're not going to understand, and all you're going to do is blame and try to guilt trip. And so I pretty much was just like, okay, well, this conversation is not at all where I wanted it to go. And so I tried to bring back up the side of the children, and she just hung up on me. She got off the phone and she texted me and said, I'm setting my boundaries and drawing my line, and respectfully, I just want you to understand that you crossed the line. And just, again, couldn't take any fault, couldn't take any blame for herself, and wanted to blame me as I was trying to do stuff to get her back or say stuff to get her back, when I'm closing the door. I'm over the relationship. I'm done trying for you. I'm done being here for you. And I just want you to know that I'm not doing that out of spite. And there was even one point where she said she wants a friendship, that she wants to be happy together as friends. And I told her, no, I don't want a friendship. I said, with you, it's either a relationship or it's nothing. And when it became like that, she got pretty angry at me. She got pretty upset with the things that I said, as she didn't want to hear that stuff. She still wanted a lot. She still wanted a lot from me. And when you leave a relationship, when you leave somebody, you don't get to take what you want. You're leaving it all. And I let you continue to have that friendship with me. And you can say that I had mixed signals, and you can say that it's all my fault that I thought that way. But it takes two to tango. And the texting me, the keeping me updated about what you're doing in your life and the jobs you're doing and the interviews you're going out for and everything else is just, that's a relationship still. You're still trying to keep me in a relationship. So I finally made the decision to end it, and it didn't go so well. So then when I woke up this morning, after all that, my brain had time to do it. I woke up at 5:48, 10 minutes before my alarm. And I had this weird feeling that I couldn't really put my nose on. But it was a feeling of nothing. Like, I didn't have a feeling. It was very weird. And it helped me quite a bit, because there was no procrastination. There was no thoughts to keep me from doing the things that I wanted to do, needed to do. And I am proving to myself and showing myself all the things that I am working towards. I have not lost, and it also is showing me that all the stuff that I've changed, all the time that I've been putting in, has not been for her, nor has it been for her for a while. And I knew that deep down. But there were some things that I was doing for her, and those things that I was doing for her was what a boyfriend does for a girlfriend. So now that I move on, I still have a smile on my face. I don't have that pit of despair in my heart that people call depression, because I'm moving towards a life that I want. I'm becoming the person that I want. And even when somebody wants to strike a nerve and hurt you and make you feel so upset, it's so much easier to just control your emotions and take your actions once you finally find solidarity into yourself. So every morning I start waking up, start giving myself good affirmations. I start out with yoga, go on a walk. I do all the stuff that makes me feel good. My house is clean. I have no dishes. I just wake up and everything's just ready for me to go. And it makes me feel so good. And then as I start going throughout the day and doing more and more, that pit doesn't come back. Sure, I have some sad moments, because I'll walk through the store and I'll see a kid with their mom, and they're sitting there laughing and giggling, and it makes me miss my kid. It makes me miss having a family. But as I change, and as I change my energy, I notice a lot. And as I start to progress towards the future that I want, my life seems to... Ready to go again? My life seems to equal out. So I do know that as I go through the future, and now that there is no hope, now I'm not taking that step back from happiness or from a future with somebody else. Now I actually do feel like, as I change my energy, the person that has the energy that is needed for me, eventually we're going to connect like magnets, and it's going to be the best feeling I've ever had in my life. And I don't know who that's going to be. It might even be somebody from my past, and it might be somebody from my future, but all in all, I have hope for myself versus hope for somebody else. And that is a feeling that just goes undeserved so much of your life, because you're always hoping best for others. You're always hoping that something comes into your life to change it. But as I change my life, the hope turns into reality. The hope starts showing itself in real life, and instead of feeling hope anymore, instead of having a feeling, you start to see actions, and you start to see reactions, and everything that you decide to do starts to be important, and not just like you're skating through life. So today, yes, was a lot, because it was about my ex and my past life and everything. And unfortunately, yesterday was a day where I had to take a new step in a new direction, and that's lose my happiness, be okay with it, and understand that connections exist. Understand that life is here for you to explore and have a good time. And so don't give up, even when it's hard, and do something for yourself. Start listening to people that can help you make changes in your life. Take the step like I did. Go out, pay $1,000 for a mentor. If you don't know the problems in your life, if you aren't willing to accept that stuff, get therapy first, because they're gonna, what they did for me is they helped me accept and learn about myself, the good and the bad. For me, they did not help me change that. They tried to basically say, this is who you are, and you need to be okay that this is how you're going to react and be. And with a mentor, they're teaching you stuff. So get a mentor if you want to be more financially free. Find somebody that's financially free. Pay them to teach you how to do it. Because every dime that you put into yourself, every dime that you are willing to invest into your knowledge and mind, that stuff is going to help you in the long run. I was asked a question: how much would you pay to have your whole life change to be the person that you want? And instead of asking myself that question, I said, how much would I pay for one small thing in my life to change? Like thinking the worst about stuff in myself. And I would easily pay $20,000, and I would do whatever I had to come up with that money to pay it. There would be no hesitation, because that right there will improve my life so much, and that $20,000 would be well spent. And it's a really good feeling. So as you go through this life, make sure to invest in yourself. Make sure to invest in the things that are going to bring you to the next step. And don't ever feel like somebody else's opinion has ever got to control what you do, because you know the steps that you need to take, and you need to do what it takes. You don't just go and throw $1,000 out and then just say, oh, that's going to heal me. No, there is work. There is journaling. There is talking about it, getting everything out in the open, and not being afraid of rejection of other people, because that's a fake fear. That stuff only exists in your head. Just because somebody rejects you, there's another person around the corner who's going to accept you. Never feel like you have to deal with rejection, because it's fake. Never fear anything that is an intellectual thought, because all it is keeping you from doing is being the person that you want to be, because you're scared of what others will think. Don't be scared. Live your life how you want to live it, and be true to yourself. And here on the go, we walk today. So on the walk today, we discovered that happiness is just a moment. Sadness is just a moment. And those moments will come and go as they please. And it's your actions that really speak to who you are that will make you happy. We don't run away from our problems. We run towards them, and we fix them, and we become better for us.